Hi, Leo. How you doing? All right, welcome to this place. Welcome back if you're returning. So, Leo, I just got back from the dump. Um, After I cleaned up the house and was prepping supper, and then I just got back and put some other things away, and then decided to do this. So, to me, work is. I enjoy work. I feel like someone. We'll put it this way. Let me try to say this in the right way. Someone really enjoys work with this expression that we're talking about. Um, I see probably during this time, this is someone who really handles what they need to handle, and then they're enjoying their responsibilities. And I suppose that's what makes it fun. Like for instance, this particular where I am right now, even though this is technically it is work, but I enjoy it. So because it's fulfilling, right? And I realize that it not only helps another person, but it also helps myself. Um, it's a mutual thing. So you actually, so we have 3 piles of 2 cards. Um, what do I want to? And then we have 3 other cards, and then I have this book that I want to read from you. Where do we start? Book. Okay, and I open to this randomly. I think the monks call it stitchomancy, where you just sort of open a book to a random page and point, and it may be a word, it may be a sentence, it may be a whole page. Maybe that could be helpful for you. Um, but this I'm going to read this little section here. It says, "The sluggard does not plow in the autumn. He will seek at harvest and have nothing. The purpose in a man's mind is like a deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. Many a man proclaims his own loyalty, but a faithful man who can find? A righteous man who walks in his integrity. Blessed are they." So, but the beginning one, the sluggard doesn't plow in the autumn, right? Because you gotta plow even after the big harvest. You plant, you gather, you can everything, preserve everything, and ensure this winter you still gotta plow it again, right? And plant your wheat plant your grain, plant again, so that it'll come up in the early spring, and then you harvest that, and you keep going, right? This is so. Because we talked about that work, I would say this is important. Now, what's interesting, I guess we'll go to this. We got hold up a minute. Lawn needs mowing and wanting more. So I suppose this could be who you're working with, and how people are working together is really important. That's the point. And maybe it's making sure that things are fair there. I don't know if this is at your job with coworkers, or if it's your boss dictating correctly who does what, your spouse, the community things you're involved with. I feel like because we talked about it the way we did, it's I went to the dump and I cleaned the house and I prepped the supper, and then I came back here and then I did that, and now I'm here again doing this. It's somebody's obviously a go-getter. And to me, Leo, that's your energy all day. That's part of your righteousness and part of your spirit, is that you don't give up. Even when you're dealing with things that are super emotionally heavy that other people don't even know about, because fire energy tends to keep their emotions to themselves because they feel that's the most responsible thing. But I would also say, remember that, because I kind of saw Virgo before, remember that this is, I heard make sure that you're telling somebody or something, what's on your heart too. not just like how strong you are and like how you're dealing with it great, but like if there's any like, man, this is hard, you know? Because I do feel like someone's heart needs, you know, lawn needs mowing, wanting more. Obviously, someone's needing, they don't need help, but they want it, right? It's like someone doesn't need something. They're not needy. They just like want, like, hey, you know, it's like the grass is getting long, lawn needs mowing. You know, it's like obvious. What's on the other side of wanting more? Deep dive needed. So I suppose the question could be, is, well, I heard, remember, sometimes pride is represented in a sort of gentle way where a person has a hard time asking for help because they feel like they'll be disappointed when they do, and perhaps they have. But I don't want you to give up on that either. Maybe you just weren't asking someone wasn't asking the right people, or maybe they weren't asking the right way. Okay? And I suppose if you keep asking someone for help, or, you know, something for, and it's, say, other people, relying on other people, and you're not getting that, I heard again, it's maybe those people can't do it, or they won't do it, or they don't know how to do it. But that doesn't mean that there aren't other people in your life that can help you. And since you can probably handle everything, like, physically yourself, like, every Leo I know is like an infinite. You guys are like Energizer Bunny. You're like, go, 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 go. I can do it. Da, 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 and you're like dancing and having a good time with it. So I heard, who do you let know what's in your heart emotionally? You know, not to have a pity party or anything. It's just kind of like, well, I heard you need a hug too, and a hand. You know what I mean? Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna make sure we're still recording. I love you, Leo. All right. Let's see. So you got 6 cards. Let's see you first. Capricorn also had the same kind of grouping. Let's see you first too. Imagination and change. So let's see. I heard, let's try to take other people out of this equation and just focus on what you need right now as an individual. Okay? Oh, I heard, oh, it keeps going into the difficulty of others. So I suppose that has to be addressed. Right? Maybe there are some illogical, this imagination with the number 7 is kind of like, maybe there's some illogical people in your life, and that perhaps needs to change. You know, I don't know, maybe for some of you this is like an employee or a partner, or just 7th house is any other person. So maybe it's kind of like, all right, back to you. Someone's having a hard time focusing on what they need to do or on themselves. Maybe someone wants somebody else to change, to make the change happen. So I guess this would be a emphasis of, if there's something that needs to be done, again, at work, in your partnership, at home, something, it's like, you can be of service, but please don't do what someone else is supposed to do. And maybe someone needs, like, direction. You know, you're a boss, Leo. You're a boss no matter where you are. So don't pick up anybody else's slack. Not in this time frame. Sometimes you can do that, but I feel like you got your own. I gotta go to the dump. I gotta do this. I gotta da 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 da. You're already busy. So don't pick up anybody else's slack. Or I suppose give excuses where other people lack. you know, because we all got to buck up sometimes. What do they say? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right? Sometimes we got to do that. People got to do that. You know a man by his fruit, right? So let's look at this as imagination as creativity. So maybe there's some creative thoughts around work. It could be uh, I guess you want to use imagination in relation to what you want to change. You know, almost like a kid, right? You rule creativity. It's like almost like a kid being like, they're so fantastical, right? They're like, they really believe anything can happen. But of course, because you're you can take this for yourself and be like, all right, well, because this is almost like daydreaming, is what I see. But this is daydreaming towards change in the way someone wants it to be, not just purely fantastical, right? And I suppose it's someone understanding also, like, okay, like I heard, here's a good idea. And then it's like, all right, what needs to change to make that happen? You know, for some of you, all Leos I know are so creative. My God, it is like literally one of your talents, one of your blessings. So I would also maybe write down your ideas that you have right now, whether it has to do presently or future, whether it has to do with practically or purely just something that's like something creative that you want to make more a part of your day, even though I feel again that your schedule is like there's a lot going on. So maybe this is over like the next 6 months, right? This is eclipse season from April to October. This is also, they call it retrograde season for those of you who are learning astrology. It's where everything sort of goes backwards, if you will, and we have to work a little bit harder, but it also gives us an opportunity to adjust things and to change things that we want to. So I see, use your imagination in there, because this could be, I heard, where some of you take change and you turn it into dollar bills. You know, you turn it into bigger money. So something that was small and of maybe not a lot of value becomes something that's big and more valuable. I'd also look at your schedule this month, please, and see if there's any like changes you could make just to maybe give yourself a little bit more time. Maybe to just be kind of quiet with your heart, you know? And okay, we'll leave that like that. Let's open up your next ones. Leo. Aspiration and the devil. Oh, this is where you work too dang hard. This is the prince of wands. So this is the knight of wands with the devil. Some of you you're working too hard, some of you. Or this is an attitude where it's like, fuck it, I'll do it myself. Nope, I heard you got an employee, you got a spouse, you got children in the house, whatever. It's like something needs to be more fair. It's like maybe someone needs to make a list of like, look, these are the things that need to get done. And even if you're a solo person with no kids and you live alone, again, list of things that need to get done. And then I saw someone checking it out. They all get checked off because it's made conscious. But even if you're alone, it's like there are things where you got to be like, no, I'm going to have somebody else do this. I heard let go of control and be like, you know, it reminds me of a couple years ago when I was like, work was so good and really busy, and my life was really full and busy, and it was like there was just a lot going on, and it was mostly all positive. But there was one time where I was just like, man, I'm gonna hire somebody else to mow the lawn. And it only happened once or twice, but honestly, that break helped me. And I actually met a new person that gave me an experience. That interaction actually helped me to learn something because I invited something new into my life. So you could totally burn yourself out in this time, so please don't. This could also be where some of you work wicked hard and you play really hard. You know what I mean? And be like, oh, I worked all week, and then it's just like, I'm going to sit down and drink this beer, or like someone could be doing something unhealthy out of stress. It could be eating, badly, alcohol, drugs, whatever. Just in general, being tough on your body. So please watch that, okay? Like, make sure you're hydrating. Usually I drink coffee all day long. Not all day, but I do drink too much of it. But this is water. Maybe that's also something too. I heard, how can you be nicer on yourself? Maybe for some of you too, this could be like exercise. Like a physical expression could also be really helpful in helping a person feel more confident about themselves. Just becoming like a little bit stronger. This could also help you get out some frustration. Yeah, the breeze was just so nice and cool. You know how like after you sweat, like you do something that's kind of hard, again, it's like, especially when you're a little bit weak somewhere, and then you finally sit down after you're done, and like that cool breeze comes, and it is just like such a blessing where you're like, so take care of your body, take care of yourself in this time, okay? Let's see your next two. Empress, beautiful, and the High Priest, two majors together. Huh. This happened with Aquarius to your opposite, where there was like a really strong feminine energy, female, and then like a really strong male. Hi Zumi, thank you for being here with us. So this is a relationship or connection here that is where each person holds their own energy, right? They understand their positions, they understand what their responsibilities are, they handle their own business. Someone's not like, there's no confusion about that. I would also say this is tending to the land. Tending to the land. I guess this could have to do with your mother or other females too. This could also be someone's spouse, because Hierophant is marriage and Empress is usually a wife. So this is also love of the father. Like love. The Empress to me is just where when she shows up a lot of times, well, it is very creative. Also, she's green. Oh, I want you to, will you please go over the talents that you have, that God gave you? I heard you have a lot of them. You have a lot of them. I want you to go over what you're good at, okay? Because maybe that's a part of it is someone's always doing so much, they actually forget to, it's not being prideful about it. It's like encouraging yourself like it's more of a reinforcement than, because I feel like a person knows somewhere in there that they're okay, I'm good at this, because it comes natural to them, right? But there's something here where it's kind of like, maybe this will help you to understand what's the chariot, like, chariot represents success. And maybe, maybe a part of this also could be where you take note also of what you are handling daily, weekly, monthly, however you want to look at this. It's one, I feel like you want to touch on all of these, but probably like daily is important, because then you can just times that by 7. Most people have like a routine week, and then you times that by 4. So you'll know because I feel like someone needs to understand what kind of, like, how much they really put out. Especially if you're in a partnership or you have children, or again, if even at work, this could be something where some of you are like, you work really hard, and if you understand what you do, then perhaps over this retrograde time, you could put in the extra energy and be like, yeah, I know I do this, and I know I do a good job with this, and I feel like you don't got to put in extra to prove anything. Someone does not need to put in extra to prove anything. They just got to keep doing what they're doing, because I don't feel like you're the sluggard, whatever that all was. You're aware of forward. You're the one of the fixed signs that's very, very, very aware of the future, So that could also help you succeed or figure out, like, what you're trying to change, Maybe some of you want to change your job. If those of you who are looking to change your job for some reason, or to find different employment or whatever, say, as an example, it could be like, well, what is your dream job? And looking at that skill set could help some of you to maybe, this could be looking for a partner, what have you. Okay, Squirrely, thanks for knocking off all the dead things. Appreciate that. They actually had a little bicker, and then all the dead leaves fell off. Good. Now things can grow. Now there's more light there. Made space, right? Maybe a little bit of shake up for somebody could also be good. Let's see. This is also mother and father. The mother and the father. So maybe those are just significant. I feel like that's come a lot this month too, is like family kinds of energy, whether they're here or gone. It's just kind of like, and I suppose if they are here and they're getting older too, this would be like visiting them. If they've passed, maybe some of you go to visit them or talk to them, even if they're not here. Whoever it is that's passed on. I feel like changing your diet a little bit would be helpful. Please watch that. It kind of emphasizes here. Your diet, your body. They say like I have this Cherokee herbal medicine book, and it talks about how a person's true health is like mental health, right? Emotional health, their physical health, their spiritual health. When we touch on these 4 points, then it brings us into this full, like, circle. And I guess there could be a few. Someone definitely has questions, because this is technically the 7 of Cups, which shows that there are many options with something. But it can show a little bit of confusion, and with a dragon here, it's always a little scary. If a dragon showed up right now, people would trip out. It's like how people talk about angels, you know, like, I love angels, but like if an angel showed up out of the sky right now, people would shit their pants. You know, so it's kind of like I see there's a lot of help and support here. But I suppose choosing a direction is really important, and this card represents help. Empress is help. The priest is help. You know, maybe it's one of those things where somebody, maybe there is a little pridefulness where someone's like, I want to figure it out on my own. And I suppose with some people in your life, you have to let them do that. But if this affects you personally, then this is where help is needed. Okay? The world, yes. That will make things like the world work in a way, like I feel like something will be fixed. Yep. So you want to trust yourself in this time. And I do feel like if you're in a relationship, you're married, things like that, this has just been coming for everyone, so we're going to talk about it, even though that isn't usually, I mean, these readings are a relationship reading, but it's mostly the relationship to you, to your lower self or to your higher self. But I would say in a earthly realm with other people, if you are married or in a relationship, there's changes in there. And, you know, in that card, the man is rowing the boat. The woman is sitting down. So if you're female, some of you really need to rest. And the male needs to step up their role a little bit, perhaps. Right? Even in these cards, the female is sitting, the man is standing up. So maybe there's a little bit of a change of, again, in duties. Well, I always see this as the Two of Cups, but it's actually the Three of Cups. So this is friendship. And I guess remember, again, if whatever this relationship is here, all things have changes in them, you know, ups and downs. But I suppose in those times of change, it's good to address not only what the issue is that's changing now, but that's going to open up other doors, right? To be like, oh, okay, because this is changing, then this makes all these other things change, which causes in a positive way, this can, Ace of Cups, yeah, 10 of Cups, prosperity. Like this can really open up new conversations about, you know, other things that are going on. And hopefully, I mean, we do have to address with the devil here, there's something going on that isn't cool. You know, I don't know if and we don't have to get into what that is. You know what that is in your life. But I see allow well, I guess allow help. You know? And maybe some do have to let go of a little bit of control. Maybe it's doing everything yourself, you know? I don't know. And again, if you're handling too much and you do have these other, make sure that there needs to be a discussion of fairness. Right? There's the Two of Cups with the Eight of Wands and the Eight of Earth. Eight of Fire, Eight of Earth. So this is definitely talking about having a conversation with that which you're connected to about time and effort and what things are, what the value of things are, what is valued now, what is needed. In a very practical sense. It could also be talking about future things too, like, hey, I want to build this in the future. I'm working towards this, you know, and so I see nurture that also, right? Because there's a lot of creative energy here, and again, like, so whatever changes are going on, I guess I want you to remember that they're happening for a reason, and to embrace that in the most creative way that you can. I heard, how can this help you? How can you allow that to help you? And if there is any fear around something, say the changes in themselves, wow, these cards get all flipperooed. If a fear pops up or a fear is around something in someone, I suppose you could look at that as an inspiration too. You know, like sometimes fear, like Cancer talked about how sometimes fear can hurt us or like protect us from death, right? Or it can kill us, you know, by just allowing it to stew. But sometimes also fear can be very creative, you know? When I get tight about certain things, for example, like it'll put a fire under my ass and be like, oh shit, I gotta do that. And then all of a sudden it's just like things get rolling. You know, I find sometimes stress can be very inspiring. But I see, don't allow but you also, I want you to also express not only like, well, I heard you're strong, but you have your own concerns too, right? So don't forget to express that. And I heard, and what's changing for you, okay? Or what you feel needs to change. Okay. I love you, Leo. Look at you showing up with the reflection card. What's she looking at? Prudence. Maybe another thing is, if you are married, maybe some of you just need to like, well, there are some changes in there, but like this major relationship, but it could also be like, do your own thing right now. You know what I mean? It's not about disregarding other people, but I mean, make sure that you're giving time, like, you know, maybe something stagnant for some of you. And you want to pay attention again to your own well-being, which would have to do with fun and health and things like that. Okay? Yes, well-being. All right, I love you, Leo. Please take care of yourself and have a good month, and I'll talk to you later.